So the actual word prohibition means you prohibit something or you ban something, but it as a proper noun, it's like the same thing as the 18th Amendment, which I'll explain in a second. So let's start off by saying what the 18th Amendment was. The 18th Amendment basically banned the manufacturing, sale, and transportation of alcohol, which was the making, the selling, and the moving of alcohol. So it didn't really ban the drinking of it, so like you could still drink it, you just couldn't get it, which is where the word temperance comes from, because like temperance means moderation, and the government was moderating the amount of alcohol that you consumed because you could still drink it, you just couldn't get it, so it wasn't completely getting rid of alcohol. So anyways, the purpose of the 18th Amendment. So the 18th Amendment started off when wives were noticing that their husbands were coming home intoxicated, and then they would abuse the wives and the children while being drunk. So that kind of sparked the 18th Amendment. Aside from the fact that these women were coming up and saying that these intoxicated husbands were abusing their children and themselves, people also believed that alcohol and drinking was associated with a ton of health problems like tuberculosis, weakened muscle, memory loss, heart, liver, stomach, and kidney diseases, natural immunity to lots of different things like viruses, and a ton of birth defects, which I'll go over more later. They also thought it was linked to poverty, dependency, and they thought that their asylums, jails, and hospitals were all filling up because of this. Like I already kind of mentioned, people thought that Prohibition would stop this because they believed that all these different problems were linked to the drinking of alcohol. So by sort of limiting the supply, obviously, and which will lower the amount of alcohol that was consumed, this would most likely stop all these issues. So one particular piece of evidence that temperance advocate groups used to support and promote Prohibition was their alcoholism and degeneracy flyer, which is also document D. So it says that 5 children out of 61 died in their infancy, and their families were temperate, so they didn't drink alcohol. And 25 out of 57 children died in their infancy, and their parents did drink alcohol, so that kind of shows you the link between the two. And also, 2 out of 61 were deformed in their temperate families, and 5 were deformed out of the 57. And lastly, 50 out of 61 children in their infancy were normal in families that didn't drink alcohol, and 10 were normal. 10 out of 57 were normal in families that did drink alcohol. I'm sort of on the middle with this. So for the alcoholism and degeneracy one, I do find this pretty compelling evidence because it shows you how much of a difference there is between the relationship of birth defects and parents who drink alcohol. Like, there's such a big difference in families that don't drink alcohol and do. So it really does show you that there is some sort of link there. But for document A, there really wasn't any evidence at all. Like with the health problems like tuberculosis and all those diseases, they didn't give any evidence. They just said it's believed to cause all these things. They didn't say why. So that I don't really believe. I definitely believe that the people from the past that were living during the time of Prohibition did believe these arguments because, well, if they didn't, then it wouldn't have even been a thought. It wouldn't have even been a law because that's how much people supported it. It became an actual law, an amendment to a constitution. So other than that, the people were... These are the people that were experiencing these problems, so they know firsthand whether or not these facts are true. And I mean, I guess they were, because so many people supported it, like I said. So document B is all about the Hooch murder bill, or Hooch is basically alcohol. So the Hooch murder bill or law says that if someone dies because of the alcohol they drink, the person that sold or gave them the alcohol will be punished, charged, and punished and charged for murder, but also given a murder trial. So after that, Mr. Anderson, which is the superintendent of the Anti-Saloon League, which was a big temperance group at the time, said that this bill is intended for whoever it may hit, but it is especially directed at the immoral foreigner, usually an alien. So they're saying that this law is going to affect aliens or immigrants the most, and that's because, or at least I think they're saying this because, first of all, America loves blaming immigrants, and Mr. Cherasini said that perfectly. I mean, it's true. Blame this person for this, blame this person, blame this race, blame this religion, you know. And also, I mean, this is probably not what happened, but I mean, it's what I would think, since you can't make and sell alcohol legally in the actual country. People outside the country can legally make it and legally sell it, so that also could be a reason. It's probably not true, like I said, but you know. So yeah, thank you.